morning, campers.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome back, Steve. It's been a while since we filmed.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It's still winter. It's still bloody winter. Of course it is, because it's February, but it's just going on and on and on. And we want this done now. I'm so bored of it, aren't you?
I am.
So, what's happened since we last saw you? It's actually been a few weeks since the last video, even though when you last saw the last video, it was probably only a week ago or so. Yeah. But when we filmed it last, that was a few weeks back. Yeah. So, since then, we've been to work. We've been to work for a couple of weeks. I picked up an awful cold, because I always do. Stephen didn't, because he never does.
I do sometimes.
Oh, you hardly ever do.
Not as often as you.
Hate you, Steve.
Oh, you just
hate you, Steve.
It's man flu.
That's not...
Talking rubbish.
Man flu. I think because you're just more relaxed, you just don't care. You're just kind of like, yeah, whatever, so you don't get ill. Yeah. Honestly, you need to be like him, because it works, yeah. Anyway, so I picked up a cold. It lingered and lingered. The worst is past. Since then, we've also had an MOT on the van. It passed.
She did.
Eventually. But there is one thing that is a bit wrong, and that is the fact there was something wrong with the brakes, and we need a new part, which is called a brake servo, is it?
Yeah.
A brake servo. Now, the garage, which is a Volkswagen garage that we use down in Thanet, they can't, because the part is now obsolete, they no longer make it due to the age of our van, I guess. But for insurance purposes, they said they can't order second-hand parts themselves and fit it. But what they can do is, if we get it ourselves,
we supply the part.
If we supply the part, they will fit it. So what we've actually done is we're in a bit of a limbo period at the moment. We are in Hampshire currently, and there is a garage here, which is actually one they recommended, or it's like a campervan specialist.
He's a breaker, I think. It's called Cali Campers.
Cali Campers. Yeah. So we're going there in Hampshire, near Southampton. So I know it's closer to Bournemouth, I think. We're going there, and we're picking up this brake servo part, and then we're going to just spend a few days around Hampshire, Dorset area. We've got planned tomorrow, which might be a bit unexpected, which we'll show you a bit later, or tomorrow. Yeah, it's just a bit of a strange in-between period. So nothing's changed on the possibly settling down front. You know, that's still there in the background. It'll always be there. We haven't won the lottery.
We haven't bought a mansion.
No, not yet. That's next week.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's all still there in the background. Still issues with Daisy in the background. So, nothing else surprising, really. No. But here we are in the van. We're out and about.
Right, and we need to get cracking, because
it's
really cold and I want the heater on.
Yeah, we do. We just want to start. We just want to drive to put the heating on, you know. It's easier. Right, we will see you. Well, I don't know where we'll see you next, but we're going to go and pick up this part, and we'll see you later on.
Right, bye.
Bye. You had enough, Steve?
Yep.
That's it for the day, is it?
Going to bed now.
Before we move on to the next point and explain where we are, do you like our new bedclothes? They're very floral. It's all a bit William Morris, isn't it? That kind of style.
Is it?
Yeah. I quite like it, though. Because ultimately, if we spill food, you can't see it.
Aye, well, I like that.
I mean, that's a bit worrying, because we could end up not washing it for ages just because you can't see anything wrong with it.
Oh, no.
I know, how terrible. Not like us at all.
Nope. Clean my sheets every day. Come
on, get out. We got things to do, stuff to eat, places to explore.
Yeah, I'm starved. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, now you've seen our fabulous new bed sheets.
No.
We've come to the city of Southampton, the port of Southampton. Yeah. We got our brake servo part, didn't we?
We did.
It was 85 quid. We paid in cash, and we'll take it back to Kent to get fixed in a few days.
We'll let you know if we can recommend them based on whether the part was reliable or not.
Yeah, because one of our worries was the fact that actually, based on the fact that we had to get an old part, how do we know this old part is
it just as worn as ours?
Yeah, but he did say we could bring it back if there's any issues, so hopefully it'll all be fine. So there we go, we've got the brake servo. That can all be done in a few days time. In the meantime, we're in Southampton. We're parked up near I'm going to say near the port. It all feels like near the port. We're parked up near the seafront somewhere. It looks a bit posh, doesn't it?
It does.
There's all some very expensive houses and some very big and fancy looking yachts around the corner. We'll show you all that in due course. It is so cold. That wind is like pure ice. So I don't know how much we're going to film today, but we're going to have a wander around, and there is, as I said, there's a specific reason we've come to Southampton, and we will get into that tomorrow, not today.
No. Right now, we want to go and have a look around. We want to eat.
We do.
And we want to go to the pub.
We want to go to the pub. Shocking, I know. Shocking
We
stuff.
never do those things, and we just feel today's the day.
No. Are you taking the piss, Steve? We never go do those things.
What do you think?
To be fair, we actually don't go to the pub that often.
We went day 4 yesterday.
Oh yeah. Did we?
Yeah, in Canterbury.
Oh yeah. Well, we
didn't-
still don't go that
we
often.
didn't show you that.
Yeah, but
We
if you
did.
add up all the days, it's not that often.
We had Guinness.
We did have
And
a
we
Guinness.
played on the machine. We
Old
played
arcade
Golden Axe.
machine, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to try and cobble a video together here somehow. It's just so cold I can't actually bear filming some of the stuff around us. So we're going to see what we can do. I'm trying to cross the road while I'm filming, very dangerous, but actually I think it's fine. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because we don't get to park up in big cities very often, it's all a little bit exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit.
So it makes you want to go out, kind of. Anyway, let's go because my hand's freezing.
Alright then, shut up then.
Alright then. Look at him, he's bored already, yawning. Caught on camera, Steve.
It's a bit boring.
It's boring. No, it's
Well,
not.
we just walked around the town bit, and it's like a town's a town, isn't it?
Yeah, a town is a town, unless it's something really attractive. They're not that interesting, ultimately. There's a hell of a lot here. It's got all the amenities you could possibly want, but obviously, visually, it's not that interesting in the town bit itself. However, Steve, let's be positive. I think there's things we haven't seen yet. We haven't been down the seafront properly. We haven't seen some of the harbour, the marina area. We haven't seen the old town, and it just doesn't help that it's cold. So I'm really sorry. This video is probably going to be a bit of a flop, actually, because
Can't
I'm
really
really
ask.
struggling to film.
Can't be asked to go walking around in the cold. Just
No.
go to the pub. We're just eating our body weight in
to the
pizza
pub.
from Pizza Hut, which is rubbish.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up, actually. Like, anyone else, you know, I love a pizza. Stephen likes a pizza, but I really love a pizza. And we had the buffet from Pizza Hut, right? So it's like $10.99. You can eat as much as you want, which, let's be honest, you don't have that much because it's pizza.
Yeah.
So it's like pastas, pizzas, and like a little salad bar. It all sounds quite nice, but it all just tastes a bit cheap and nasty, really, doesn't it? And we are not foods. No, it just tastes of like salt and sugar.
Yeah.
We are not food snobs, you know what I mean? We'll happily eat fast food, but there's just something really crap about Pizza Hut. Is it me? Is it us?
Yeah.
Anyone else done that? The buffet at Pizza Hut and think
We've
it's
had
just
it
a bit
before,
rubbish?
We thought it was crap, and we did it again for some reason today.
I don't know why we did it again. We last did it about 10 years ago. We should have learned, really. Anyway, we've come up. We're wandering through some parks. Quite a few open green spaces here, which is nice. We're going to go back towards the town, and we're going to probably find a pub. And I think we're going to go and explore some of the seafront tomorrow. I think it's meant to be a little bit warmer, as well as show you what we're actually here for, because we are here for another reason, not to see Southampton.
We were here for the pub.
Yeah, all right. So one of the things about Southampton, in its favour, to be fair, before we start saying there's not much to see, you know, in some way there's a good reason for it. So it was really heavily bombed during World War II, so it lost so much of its old architecture, I guess. I don't know how much, I don't know a great deal about it, but I do know it was heavily bombed, so a lot of the stuff you see was rebuilt. But what it did also have, it had this city wall, and that was built centuries ago, I think maybe in the 1400s, I don't know, I can't remember when it started. But even that is kind of in pieces, really. It's not like some other city walls where they might be a bit more intact. It's kind of all segregated, and this right now is situated between some like retail units and loads of like what looks like new blocks of flats going up, and it's all just, you wouldn't even know it was here, would you, really? It was just down an alley we found this. Obviously, another thing, Southampton is a busy port. It's a huge port. Even driving along the seafront here, you could see how there was just so much freight, like gigantic ships full of containers coming in and out. Cruise ships go from here as well. Obviously, it's famous because the Titanic launched from here. Is that right, Steve?
I don't know.
I think it did. I think it did. So I think there's a museum here on that, which might be worth having a look at. But yeah, generally right now it is a port. You can get ferries to the Isle of Wight and beyond. So much going on. Now, as most people know, port towns, they tend to be built to be functional, and they're not built to be attractive. You know, we used to live in Dover. We know what it's like, and sometimes it does harm the towns because everything is focused on the port, that the town gets neglected. So Dover's a prime example, isn't it? So you've got the port, but not much going on in the town. And whether Southampton can be considered the same or not, I don't know. I doubt it because it's much bigger. But I think it still stands that port towns are generally they become less attractive because they're attractive.
Well, they've just got masses of traffic going through.
Yeah, masses of traffic. So everything is main roads. It's not allowed to be pretty as such, and everything's focused on going out to sea and coming in. So the towns themselves never tend to be that aesthetically pleasing, I guess.
Aye.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know where we're going with this bloody
My
video.
arms hurting, so that's it.
Yeah, it's cold. I'm really sorry if this video is going to be a bit rubbish, but we're doing our best, all right?
Aye.
We're doing our best.
Let's go to the pub.
All right. So this building here, that used to be Jane Austen's house for a couple of years. I swear, Steve, we've been to several places now that Jane Austen has lived. She's been around, hasn't she? She's lived in a few places, unless we're mixing her up with someone else. But yeah, she used to live in here for a couple of years, from 1807 to 1809 or something like that. But this now is flats. In fact, I actually think it might be Airbnbs. And what it says on the note is that her garden, and presumably other people who lived here, stretched up to the walls, which must mean this, which gave her views over to the New Forest. Well, obviously not possible now, but it also mentions something about the tide coming up from one of the rivers, coming up to this wall. So that's interesting. I don't know if we've got that right.
Maybe that's why they've done the artwork like that, because it was a river.
Yeah, maybe. So the suggestion seems to be that at the tide of a river, at least, not so much the sea, used to come up to these walls when Jane Austen lived here a couple of 100 years ago. So as much as you read now about the sea encroaching and water levels rising, which obviously they absolutely are, the amount of times we've been on our journeys out in the van and we've discovered places where actually it seems like the sea or the rivers or water in general has retreated and done the opposite.
Well, look at the Isle of Thanet. It's not an island anymore.
No, that used to be separated, didn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, there we go, Jane Austen's house. Nice.
Airbnbs.
Now Airbnbs. So everything here is like a mix of the old and the new. Mostly the new, really. But I think we're near a bit that is kind of like the old town of sorts. Well, I don't know if you'd call it that, really. But you've got parts of the old wall here that extend down there. I think you can stay the night down there in a camper van, but that's a whole other story. You've got those nice houses there, and then of course you're surrounded by so many retail units, cinemas, blocks of flats everywhere, that kind of stuff. It's a real contrast. And again, another thing that's gone, so Southampton used to have a castle stood right on this spot. Now it's just flats of sorts and then flats behind it. But that was demolished a couple of 100 years ago. And this whole area here, it's like a gigantic complex of shops and bars and restaurants. I mean, you're definitely not lacking for stuff to do in that sense here. Cheers, cheers.
Cheers, chicken.
Obviously we've come into a pub. Yes, so we've walked around. We've walked 10 kilometres today, according to Stephen. I mean, I don't know how the hell we've managed that. But we have. It's quite a big place, isn't it? And even the high street itself, like we didn't film any of the high street because it's just shops. It is just shops. There was nothing to really film there, so we didn't do that. But we've wandered up and down. There is a lot here, and we just got cold and tired in the end. So we've come into a pub, ordered a beer, and we've been this lovely little comfy chairs. It's really nice, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's called the London Inn. No, the London. It's just London Inn, or just the London?
It's just the London, isn't
So
it?
I think it is a gay pub, and it's sort of just on near the seafront kind of thing at the edge of town. I was saying to Stephen, it feels like you should get out a whiskey, a pack of cards and a cigar or something sitting here. I can't keep my eyes open. This ain't going to help, is it?
No.
Should we just sleep here, Steve?
Yeah, right then.
It's warmer.
Right then.
Just go up on the sofa.
I'm sure they won't mind.
No, they might not notice. We're just in the corner. Morning, Steve. Morning, except it's not the morning, it's the afternoon. We're halfway through the day already.
We've had a beer. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
What will we look like? What will people think? Well, it's a bit bloody late now. So, good morning. This is where we spent the night last night. We're just in a little car park down on Southampton. Not the marina, but there's like an area called the Ocean Village. And really, it's all just kind of like flats and stuff like that. There's areas where these really fancy looking yachts are parked, all that kind of stuff. And as you can see behind us, we're very close to the cruise terminal. So, big question, Steve. Why are we in Southampton?
I am. Where am I?
We're going to the football. Can you believe it? We're going to the football. Like real men, Steve. We're like proper lads, yeah?
Oh, fucking hell. Put heretics on me and call me a girl. I don't want to go.
Well, if you like. So, well, you are going. He is going to the football. And because we came down to pick up that brake servo part not far from here, I decided that it'd be nice to go to a football match. Now, Southampton has been my team. So, yeah, on the side, I like a bit of football. I kind of fell out with it for a few years, got back into it for some reason, because I'm not from Southampton. I think it was because when I was younger, I wasn't really into football that much. But everyone around me was, and I kind of tried to get into it. And everybody was picking all the usual teams that did well. And somehow I became focused on the other end of the table. I found that far more fascinating when I learned about the whole idea of relegation and stuff like that. So it kind of drew me to the teams at that end. And it was kind of like a grittier end of football, if you like, teams trying to survive to stay up. So obviously, over the years, decades, Southampton have been one of those teams. Now, they haven't always been like that. There's been periods of success, but generally they're to be found quite kind of struggling, and at the moment, more so than ever. In fact, they could be on to have the worst Premier League points tally of all time. But I think they should break that one at least this season, hopefully. So that's what we're doing. We kind of thought, we don't know when we'll, I'm kind of a fairly casual fan, really. It's not kind of like hardcore, I'd want to go to these things all the time. But we thought, since we're in the area and we don't know when we're going to be here again, we'd go to a match. And we've never been to a football match, have we?
No.
So, so looking forward to this. So we thought we'd go to a football match for once.
It might be fun, like the atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, they're very pricey. Like, God knows what people pay for season tickets and stuff like that, especially when you go to see a team like Southampton that just lose and dim all your hopes week after week. But I'm sure we'll have a good time.
Aye.
It's just bloody cold.
Aye.
So yeah, we've been into town already. We got some breakfast, we had a wander around, and we've had a little beer. There was a couple of cans left in the van, so we thought we'd have one of those each. We're going to become like football out, Steve. You'd be good at that.
I would.
So we're currently parked, I don't know, about a 15-20 minute walk from the stadium, and yesterday we went up there. Obviously nothing going on, really quiet, so we did a bit of filming. It's pretty big. I mean, it's not one of the biggest, but it's still massive, like 32,000 capacity or something like that. So we wandered around, figured out where we were going to go, did a little bit of filming, because I don't know, the other thing was we didn't know if we'd be able to film anything today, because it just might be full of crowds and we'd be trying to figure out what we've got to do, having never been before. So we filmed a little bit yesterday, didn't we? Which I'll put underneath me talking right now, hopefully. And today when we get there, I'm guessing it'll be crowds everywhere and it'll be a bit mad trying to figure out what's what. We're branching out, Steve. Bit of dogging the other week, football this week. Don't say we don't give you variety, yeah? Right, cheers, Steve. These were £6.20 a pint, I think. Stephen's got Kingfisher, I've got Thatcher's cider.
Yeah.
It's quite well organised, actually, isn't it? Like, we didn't know what to expect, but it was quite easy to figure out where we were supposed to go. So we got about half an hour before we go in. You can't take them in. By the way, having never been to a football match, we didn't know that, did we? Oh, we didn't know what the rules were and things like that. So you can have a drink outside, but you can't take it in. Anyway, we'll drink our drink and we'll see you in there. Or we'll see you afterwards because we're not really sure yet.
Aye.
It's a bit of a weird video, this, isn't it? Not much fan stuff going on. All at the bloody football.
Aye.
Well, we went to the football. I'm really sorry we couldn't film anything. I didn't see anyone else filming though, did you?
No, I didn't.
So it felt like you couldn't. I mean, you all know what the inside of a football stadium looks like, so I don't think you're missing much. But yeah, I didn't see anyone else doing
it's
it.
Like
So
an egg shape with green in the middle. Do you know what? I never thought these words passed my lips, but I actually quite enjoyed that.
Yes.
It's quite different watching that, like live while you're there, than it is just watching it on a TV. I quite enjoyed it.
yeah, see,
I quite enjoyed it.
it's on camera. We've got this recorded.
Aye.
Stephen enjoyed football.
I never thought I'd say that, but I did. It was alright, and it wasn't even the atmosphere that made it alright. It was just better to see it.
Yeah, and the atmosphere did help. There's people singing,
Yeah.
there's people getting passionate,
Yeah.
and of course, actually, like Stephen said, just seeing it up close in a big stadium, it's
just
really
more
impressive.
interesting to see it in front of you that way.
Yeah. So we did have a good time, except Southampton did lose 3-1 to Bournemouth. To be fair, it was kind of expected.
Bournemouth played better.
Yeah, and they were
Ultimately,
organised.
They were far more cohesive as a team,
Yeah,
and I felt like Southampton are not aggressive enough.
strategist here.
They're not aggressive enough.
No.
They kept playing defensively, like pushing the ball back to their keeper.
There was no confidence in the passing
And it
either.
felt like when they got the ball, I don't know, like they didn't know what to do with it.
No, it was like they didn't know what to do with the ball, and it's sad, and that's a constant thing, really.
But there was a couple of players that were a bit more aggressive that helped them,
Yeah,
and they did score, and that was fun.
yeah. On the other side of the coin, there was a Bournemouth player on our side. He was bloody attractive, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was.
Jesus. So, you know, that keeps you going when you're
That
losing.
was fun to watch anyway.
Yeah. I don't know what that Bournemouth player was, but
Well, he had kind of
Nice.
a bit more flattering uniform, to be fair.
they had a nicer uniform, yeah. It was the turquoise shorts that did it, wasn't it, Steve?
I think so.
But we're going off on a tangent here.
Aye.
So what we're doing, it's getting dark now. We can't actually walk around and show you anything else here. So we're going to the pub.
We'll go back to the bar.
We're going back to the London. So 3-1, Bournemouth 3, Southampton 1. We had a good day. It was as expected. It could have been worse. Southampton had some really good spells. Oh my God, why am I even saying this? You're not interested on this channel, surely. Like, we don't need to go into the details.
No, and I'm not that interested either.
It's done now. So we're going to go and have a couple of drinks in the London, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Morning, morning. Morning, Steve. Let's get back to this ramshackle video, whatever we're creating here. I have no idea. We're still in Southampton. We had a bloody good day yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, it's nice.
We didn't really film it. We went back to the pub that we went to originally. We were a bit too early to have to be out, as you call it.
We didn't go out.
We didn't go out. We went for a couple of drinks and then came back to the van. We were very tired and then settled down, basically. You did a bit of drawing and we just chilled out. So that was it. So what we're going to do before we leave, we are going to have a little wander around. I say round the seafront. It's not really a seafront here, is it? Because as we've explained, it's a huge port. So there's I don't know what there is to actually see except kind of like industry. But we're going to have a little wander over to the marina where the fancy yachts are. Do you fancy buying a fancy yacht, Steve?
Not really.
Just like £1.5 million.
No.
Just a little million.
I'm not interested.
No, me neither. I don't know how much. If we had all the money in the world, I don't think we'd ever buy a bloody yacht. Ugh. But yeah, it's like the same as I said with every port. It kind of suffers because it has to give up its seafront to the trade that it has with as being a port and obviously a cruise terminal and everything else. So it's kind of sacrificed that. We know that from living in Dover. Even when we went to Sweden actually, and we got the ferry over, and I can't remember. It begins with T. Trelleborg or something, was it? From somewhere like that on the south of Sweden over to Germany. Again, that was another town that its seafront was gone. It was just busy roads and the port, so it didn't have that element. So there's always that kind of sad thing, isn't there, about ports, that they probably have a lot of work there, but they have to sacrifice the nice things.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go and see if we can find something to look at. It's bloody freezing. It's like 2 degrees. I'm so done with winter, aren't you?
I am.
Really bored of it. He just wants me to shut up and move on now.
I do.
Let's get moving. Keep warm, shall we?
Come on then.
Let's go and see something. So in our eternal search for a place to settle down once we stop being in the van, we've stumbled upon some yachts that are just a little £1.5 million there, Steve. What do you think?
I don't think so at all.
Can you imagine? It's like, I'm just going to go shopping today. I'm just off down the marina, just going to go and look in the yacht window and pick up one of those. But the other thing we were just saying is, I mean, do you really get the value, the proper use of a yacht in the UK? Like, the weather is awful 70% of the time. You have a couple of months of the year where it's really nice, and presumably you only really want to go out in your yacht when it's like nice weather, don't you? When it's calm and the sun's out. I guess if you're an all-weather type of person, then that might be enjoyable. But I just got this feeling a lot of these probably just sit here and get minimal use. But if somebody would like to give us a yacht, then we'll happily take it and sell it. Cheers, thanks a lot. And there we are. Southampton is the UK's home of cruising. So if you like a bit of cruising, get yourself down to Southampton. Other similar activities are available, as we have documented on a previous video. So this is kind of the other end. So Southampton sort of sticks out, and you've got the river, is it the River Itchen or something on one side, and it might be the River Tess, which I think is kind of this side, and it kind of spreads out into this big body of water. I might have that wrong, but it definitely is between two bodies of water that then go out to the Solent, which is separating the mainland from the Isle of Wight, and then of course you've got the English Channel beyond that. But as you can see, everywhere is just industry. I mean, the size of that freight ship, sorry you can't see that because it's blurring, but there is a massive freight ship there, all just kind of industry along the edges. Well, it's bloody freezing. I need some fingerless gloves. I can't take this anymore. It's so difficult to film anything when it's this cold.
Yeah.
And of course your hands always have to be out. Normal gloves, they just don't work when you're trying to film. So maybe some of those fingerless ones will be good, so I can still actually, you know, touch buttons and things that I need to do when we're actually filming this stuff in this god-awful weather. Oh, look at us, Steve. We're posh now. We've come into an M&S cafe.
Yeah.
Got a little pot of tea each, a little bit of a cake, which is quite vastly overpriced for the size of it, but never mind. Get some milk in there. I don't know why they've put it in there. Maybe it makes it look fancy, who knows. So what did you get, Steve? Was it lemon cake?
Lemon drizzle.
Lemon drizzle. Is it nice?
It's a bit dry.
How much was yours?
£3.50.
£3.50, and that is, well, that's actually smaller than it looks on camera, I think. And I've got some kind of chocolate brownie of sorts, which was about £3. So this is like a salted caramel brownie, I think it is. And it's actually pretty good, in fairness. But more importantly, I have found what I've been looking for. Fingerless gloves. So I can actually film in this bloody freezing weather now. But they were £12 in Next. So, you know, a little bit pricey for something that is just a practical thing I need to chuck on, but they're quite warm, quite well made. So there we go. I can film now without moaning about my hands.
No.
Just thought I'd share that.
No.
Something else to put in the video, isn't it?
No.
I'm sure you're all very grateful for it. I am loving my fingerless gloves, Steve. They are a game changer. A game changer, your favourite word.
It's just sort of kill you.
I think we're going to kind of wind things up there a little bit.
I think so.
Southampton, you know, I'm sorry if we didn't do it justice. I'm sure there's lots to see around here. And as I said, it's very close to some really beautiful locations like the New Forest. Of course, you've got the Isle of Wight across the water. You've got lots of different things around here. So sorry if we haven't shown off some of the local stuff. We didn't know it that well. We actually just came here for the football, as we said. We've had a really good time. Steve had a good time. We quite like it. We don't love the town, but it's all right, isn't it?
No, I think it's fine. I did quite like it. It's just too cold to walk around too much more than what we did.
Yeah, it was very hard to enjoy it, basically. So yeah, I'm sorry if this video's not been the best. I don't think. I know I say that a lot, but I don't think it's good enough. Probably this week. There's not much to show you. Do you know what he said earlier? He was like, they'll get what they're given.
Yeah,
they'll get what they're given. Come on, Steve, give us nothing. Give us nothing, as always.
That's my opinion on it, really. It's
That's
like,
your
we are what we are. We do what we do, and if people like it, they like it, and if they don't, they don't. I don't think there's any need to beat yourself up thinking it's going to be good enough. But with that, we are going to end the video.
We are.
So please push the like button. Very important to push the like button. Subscribe if you like the channel, and push the notification bell thingy if you're notified when our new video comes out.
Yeah, and if you do watch us regularly, do check if you are subscribed, because you might not be. You might just click on them and our videos appear, but you might not be subscribed. So do give that a check and press the button if it's not already pressed. If you could, that would be lovely. And with that, we are going to check in and check out.
Yep.
We are up to something a little bit exciting now. I'm really looking forward to this, and we kind of decided this last minute. So that's going to be the next video. We were thinking about joining it onto this one, given we weren't able to show you much from here, but we're going to make that an entirely separate video. So very much looking forward to that. Somewhere we've never been before. We'll show you that next time.
Yep.
Some adventures coming up of sorts. All right then. Right, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.